I have hair. Yeah, someone's like, yo, Don, you bald? I'm like, nah, man. I'm not bald yet, man. Don't worry. I'm not bald yet. Maybe in like 10 years, you know, when I'm 34. I'll be like everyone, every other mentor out there. But, you know. Alright, no, can't turn that up. I gotta turn that down. Can't play copyright free music during a live stream. Sad. Alright. Let me just turn this up. Boom, boom. Chat, what up, man? What's going on, ladies and gents? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream here. Another wonderful live stream with Donvo and DVS. Sadly, I got a little sad news. Marcos ain't coming here today. He's on duty. So it's just gonna be the rest of the crew. Featuring Wix and Biggs, I guess. Anyone else who pops up. Alright, Alright, so let's see. Before you guys get too excited on whatever's happening with GG and Gold real quick, we gotta do the important stuff first. We gotta look at news. What do we have going on today? Right, today I guess you have not much going on. You have unemployment claims. That's about it. You have no major news. This is an orange folder, so it's mid. It's meh. Unemployment claims at 8:30. Be aware of that if you're trading gold or GJ, maybe slightly affected. But actual grade and forecast is good for currency, and they're expecting bad numbers. So with that being said, gold should technically drive up if news does come out as expected. All right, with the tentacles, because tentacles does show that we are expected to drive up on gold. All right, and then I think that's it. And tomorrow is G7 meetings, and I think that's it. There's no USD news going on tomorrow specifically. All right. But yeah, let's get into the charts real quick. So let me just send a Zoom link in my Discord, and then after I send my Zoom link real quick, I will start it up. All right, guys, and we'll do the analysis. Now that good stuff. Share screen. Boom, boom. Copy link. All right. That is good. Yes, sir. Yeah, people just sending good morning messages every day in Discord. Like they private message me and say good morning. Yeah, nice. GM. All right. Market controllers. There we go. Course members, mod channels. Boom. All right. So chat. Today is June. I'm thinking vacation. May 19, 2022. All right. So gold here for the weekly, as you can see, has obviously at one. We're technically still bearish with the fact that price did close bearish last week. Right, as you can see here, we closed bearish, so this week's candle technically should drive down. I mean, we did drive down, we came down, we tapped target, so there's that. Since we're rejecting here, and I believe the daytime, if I'm not wrong, is closing bullish as well. There's a slight chance, there's a higher chance that we drive up today, with the fact that you can say, well, there's a support formed here, right? Because as you can see, prices rejected this level many times. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections here. Not only did they reject, because rejection doesn't mean anything. They rejected, but they also closed respecting the support. So if we're rejecting, and every time we rejected, we're closing above that support. On top of that, today or yesterday, you closed bullish at that support level. There's a high chance that today's candle will likely drive up, and will likely drive up towards next resistance, which is up here at like 1840, right? 1840 next target, or even like 1855 next target we're looking at here. So that's not too bad. Looking left, like you're looking within these ranges here, and you can say, well, you have a support formed over here on GJ or on gold here, and then you have a resistance formed up here. There's a minor resistance here. Price didn't close above yet, but we're still, we still continue up passing that level of resistance there, and this is your next resistance up here. So with that being said, price can easily just mirror the rest of the candle here. I do think tomorrow will be a lot cleaner because tomorrow we're gonna have an actual closure above, but today's candle could still rip up. Who knows? It'll all come down to a smaller time frame. But yeah, as you can see, if you do drive up, then you're looking left, you're gonna have clean traffic to 1855. My next day target here is 1840, just because you have a minor resistance to the left hand right here. You have clean traffic, and then all of a sudden you have into some bumps on the road here, and that's gonna be at 1840, 1837ish levels. So just be aware of that if you're trading gold today. But yeah, I think the range going up is like another like 100 pip range going up, 85 pip range going up. It's not too bad at all. Dropping down to a small time frame, I think the forward candle is pretty clean here. You have this forward candle which closed above this resistance here. So looking left, technically price should fill the rest of the range here to the left hand side, tapping this resistance up here at like 1832, which I believe it's pretty much going to be tapping within the next 30 minutes or so. So that's a forward candle. We're obviously bullish. And I believe, if I'm not wrong here, I mean, the 1 hour is going to close in about 13 minutes here. I don't think this 1 hour candle did anything. I'm guessing because you tapped the minor resistance here. So you can say, well, that's your 30-minute resistance as well. And if you're looking for buys, you probably want to see buys above that resistance, right? If you can close above 1830, you can probably continue up towards like 1834. That's not too bad as well. That range going up is roughly, I believe, 47 or 43 pip range going up, 42. So it's not bad. Wait for a closure above there, and then you should be good for positions. And you also have a support form right here as well, 1827. Look left there, you have this level right here that we're rejecting, this level right here that we're rejecting, this level right here that we're rejecting. So with that being said, price technically should respect that support, and if it closes bullish, the next 1 hour candle should likely pop up, doing something like this to fill the top of the range and continue up towards next resistance and so forth, right? So I definitely am bullish today. I am looking for buys, and it'll be a pretty straightforward day if you make it a straightforward day for yourself, right? Shouldn't be too complex. But yeah, chat, that's what I'm looking for on gold here. All right, so just to clean it up a bit, I'm just gonna readjust these lines here a little bit, and then right click here, template, buys above there, boom, closures above, perfect, and not bad. How big is this range here though? This range going up on a 30-minute closure would be 14 pips. It's not bad. Definitely not bad, but I think I prefer a closure above 1830.456. But yeah, chat, it's not bad. Or even a starter play wouldn't be too bad here. Let's see. We have 12 minutes left for a 1 hour closure. So just wait for that to close. And GJ here. This is what everyone's looking at. GJ for the weekly, chat. We mentioned this yesterday, right? We never broke the highs here. So since you never broke the highs here, man, there's a slight chance that price, well, there was a high chance that price could flip, and price ended up flipping, right? So like whenever, like, I want to talk about this right now because it's a great example. So let's say, like, let's just cover up the time frames here and say, well, imagine this is like a higher time frame, right? Imagine this was like the I don't know, fucking the 30-minute time frame, right? And on a 30-minute time frame, what happened here was price closed below the support here, right? And this is your resistance up here, or yeah, this price closed below support there, and the next level of support is like down here or something, right? That's your next target. So if we're closing below support and you're entering on the flip here, typically that's what people would do, right? You're entering a flip. What's the most logical stop? Forget how big it is. Like, forget that this is a 200 pip wick candle. Forget that. Just look at this candle here and say, what's the most logical stop? The most recent high, right? The previous kind of high. Why? Because if price were to come up and break that previous kind of high, there's a high chance we're gonna break past that resistance and probably pop up towards the next resistance up here and up here, right? So whenever people say, yo, Don, like, your stops are too big, like, it doesn't matter how big stops are. I'm not choosing stops. Stops are choosing me, right? So the most logical stop will be the most recent high. And like in some cases, people may close, right? Or traders may close impulsively as price is just pushing up and rejecting. But they don't understand that the most logical stop, and for this trade to be valid, will be the most recent high, right? That respects high chance we're probably going to reject the drive down. And that's what happened here. Price came like maybe like, if this is a 30-minute time frame, this would have been like a pip or two away, but it never broke the highs, most logical stop, and ended up flipping bearish. So with that being said, you can now say, well, there's a high chance now that what candle right there was grabbing liquidity for the weekly candle. And as we're flipping bearish, there's a high chance we should continue down. Looking left, you have a lot of clean traffic here, right? price, you can say could mirror this whole range going down. That was what I was expecting this week. Your next weekly target is going to be like 157, right? That's your next weekly target to flip plus the wick fill. And then even the wick fill is my target at 155.500 is my originally target that I have next on the weekly. All right, so like overall, that's what we're expecting the week candle to do. I wouldn't be surprised if we start pushing today, especially with the fact that you have a day and a half left in this week candle. But if we start pushing today and after rejecting, it's a great sign. I think the day candle is bearish as well, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we're bearish as well. The day candle, same shit, right? You had this right here. You had this being a range 1 breakout yesterday, right? You had an overall bearish trend. This is a range 1 breakout. You had a closure above, but it's a range 1, so there's a high chance it could be a fake out. Price close back inside the range, and then now today's candle should likely drive down to fill the bottom of the range, come down to fill a target to left at 156. So that's what you're kind of expecting today's candle to do. So I definitely am very open to sells today, and I prefer sells. I believe sells for me would probably be I mean, this 4 candle is closing bearish here. That's great. Obviously we're bullish right now. It's being rejected, but the previous candle is still bearish until you break this high right here, right? The most logical stops. So with that being said, I mean, I guess you can say sells to be below this range in general and overall. Why is there a gap? Oh, is this a wrong chart? Oh, there's a Wanda. Why is there a gap here? There's usually never gaps on the Wanda. That's fine. Yeah, so I guess you can say sells would be below 158.038. Sells below there coming down. Or yeah, sells below 158.038. Below 158. I know there's a support here. Let's see. If you draw that line going across here, how does that look on the higher time frame? So there's your support there. Your next support's down here at 157.550. So that range going down there is going to be roughly 40 pips, I think. 35, 40 pips. Yeah, so 35 pips. It's not bad. I guess you can say sells would be below there. And then you can say, well, if that were to break, then you have more sells coming down towards the bottom of the next range, and that will take you down towards 156. And I think that will be the day flip, or the day flip would be below 157.550, I think. Yeah, so that's the day flip. Sorry, 157.917 is day flip. So the sells below area that I have marked up is a day flip because they kind of opened up right around here. And this is a trade caught last night, I think, right? Or Asian, I think. And then yeah, it's not bad, not too bad, Chad, not too bad. The range going down here is like 35 pips, and then the range going down below there is like 50 pips, I believe, or 70 pips. So not bad. Should be a pretty chill day for the most part. Looking for sells, and I guess you can say there's a resistance over here somewhere on price right now. So this is your resistance. This is a range you're in. This is a range that you probably want to just avoid, right around here. You want to avoid that range, and you want to take advantage of this support, this range down here. This range is down here. Sorry, wrong color. You want to take advantage of these ranges below here, and you want to take advantage of this ranges over here. All right. That's true, but 50 pips can wipe out 9 wins. Yeah, but who said we always close half at 10 pips? We sometimes close half at 15, 40, 50, right? It's not always 10 pips. But yeah, and obviously runners play out too, right? But yeah, chat, that's what we're looking out for here. And Jason, simple. If you don't like 50 pip stops, right, then just don't take the trade. There's no one said you need to take a trade that has a 50 pip stop, right? No one said you need to take a trade. If it's a 50 pip stop and you think that that stop loss will wipe out your trades, then don't take it, right? Or maybe go like smaller risks or something. Go at a risk where it won't wipe out your trades if it's a 50 pip stop. But no one said you need to take a 50 pip stop. You know, no one's gonna hold a gun to your head and say you must take this trade. All right, because that's what the way I trade, chat, is work the way around like the way things have, like the way kind of things worked and played out for me the last couple of years, right? Like all my flaws in my trading, I just adapted, and this is what we came to. And obviously, if you're new to the streams, like it's always gonna be a bit different and weird to you. It's like, why does guy have a 40 pip stop sometimes? Why does he have a 10 pip stop, or why does he have a 35 pip stop, right? And it's because I'm just using the most logical stops. Like I've been there before where we would have much like smaller stops and we'll manage risk impulsively, and for me, like that didn't work out. And like I think the stats show from 2021, right? The stats on stream and the little spreadsheet that we had, that shows like the difference from last year and this year. whole different turnaround, right? A whole different win rate and a whole different, like, even like pip percentage that we caught. So I don't know. This is what works for me. This the way I explain things, the way I do things is exactly what I do. I'm not gonna explain something that I don't do, right? Like for instance, like this is what we do. Like we have a spreadsheet. These are like all our trades that we take on stream here. We started doing it this year because last year people were asking for it and it was kind of too late. It was in the year, but this year we started doing it, and I mean, for the most part, it's been going pretty well. 56 10 losses or 11 losses, really. Yeah, for 11 losses, 56 wins, 11 losses, 10 break evens, you know, 80% win rate. Like this is how the months have been. This is January, kind of slow start. February was kind of picked up. March picked up, right? Definitely picked up. Runners here. It shows the trades type, stops, half a full risk, depending on how big stops were, buy or sell, timestamp, everything on stream. And then you know, April, it's been going pretty decent. May's been going pretty good for me, but it just sucks because May's trades have been in the second channel a lot because I've been up for London a lot and Asian a lot, and I mean, like it's a huge difference so far in May. Like huge difference so far. Usually it's not like this far off, like the stream trades and signals. It's like usually half of it, double. But this month has been pretty insane because I guess I've been up for London, and London's been pretty good for runners for the most part. But yeah, that's that. I want to show you guys this real quick. The 2021 stats as well, right? This is 2021 stats. Like this is how it was in 2021. So like, yeah, look at the difference, right? Huge difference. This is I think this is a 67% win rate, I think. Don't do the math, but like, you know, look at the losses: 5, 10, 5, 3, 7. But they add up. They add up and they affect your trading style. They affect the way you trade. Like 30, 10, 30, 17, 4, 5. Managing risk, right? Managing risk impulsively versus logically, though, there's a huge difference, right? And then overall, like I think starting June was when we started to kind of adapt to this way of managing risk, because we found out it was a lot better. It was most logical, right? And it took me some losses. It took me some losses to realize that. It took me like almost half the year to realize that. And then once I realized that, I just stuck to it. And then ever since then, I think we haven't had a negative month since, or a negative winning percentage on stream since. And then I mean, 2021's been whatever, right? It's been off pretty good. Yeah, that was my little explanation of logical stops. Just start the day off because I know people are gonna ask for later. But yeah, man, that's that. Chat, no Marcos today, man, but it's all good. It's gonna be a vibey day. There might be a lot of new people today. I can kind of sense it, but welcome everyone. Welcome to our live stream. When's up to a negative week? I think November 2020 or September 2021. The last time we took 2 losses in a row on a live stream. All right, listen to this. On a live stream, the last time we took 2 losses back to back in a row was September 2021. It's been almost a year since we took almost 2 losses in a row. All right, September, 2 losses in a row. Boom. October, no. November, no. December, no. Right? And then January, no. February, no. Right? March, no. April, no. May, not yet. Right? I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying like it won't happen. It definitely could still happen. I'm not saying like, you know, it's impossible, but sticking to the plan really shows, right? Really shows between being impulsive and being non-impulsive, right? What up, Wiggs? Why you sad at, man? Move to the dark side? Huh. Yeah, I told you, Jason X, in September 2021, and I think I was down 10 pips for the month. That was last time. I was down 10 pips. I think it was in my IG stories. We did a full year of results here. From November or October 2020 until August 2021, like 10 months of results, like every day. I think the only month I was negative was I think it was August actually. I think it was the last month we did. I think that was a break-even month. I think that was our worst month. And then yeah, but the rest of the months were pretty chill. It's a cop. I know, a cop from a different community. It's all good. Canada GPUSD. I'm looking at these two pairs. I'm kind of locked in here. So you have the 1 hour closure entry here, guys. You close bullish here, but you close respecting this resistance here, right? So there's a resistance here that was being respected, and I believe I mean, we closed bullish, but we respect the resistance. With the day buy still being bearish, there's a high chance that we could reject, especially if we close bearish here in the next 30-minute candle at 7:30. If you get a closure like this, we'll take sells coming down. But you need to close like this. You need to close bearish, rejecting that resistance, confirming our resistance, right? Because right now there's no confirmation, and then you can take sells coming down. So that's what we're gonna wait for. Jenna's, I appreciate that. I'm glad. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. Doing trading is harder with more volatility? Not really, no. Volatility, non-volatility. 10 pips is always there for me, right? That's why we trade the way we do, because regardless of the volume, regardless of days we're range or note range, 10 pips will always be there for you to catch, right? I'm not looking to catch home runs every single day. Some days, yeah. Some days I attempt home runs. Some days I leave runners. I don't close any. You just stop to break even, let it run, right? But some days I like to secure profits, because some days might not be the most volatile days. For instance, yesterday, right? Remember yesterday's trade chat? The break-even trade yesterday? That would have been a loss if you didn't manage us the way we did. I think we got 10 pips, but I couldn't close in time. But that could have been a loss if you didn't manage us the way we did, because price came back up, broke the highs, and it came. I think it would have been a negative like 50 pip drawdown or something. I mean, I think it would have still played out for the most part, but you would have been some drawdown beforehand. It was right here, I think, 10 a.m. yesterday. All right. The most logical stop was respected though, for sure, because the most logical stop I said yesterday was a 30-minute candle. But since we used the current candle stops and it was like 20 pips, we had to be a bit more aggressive there, because we knew that for us to drive, like if we were to drive down, you would have drove down that push. But if you start to reject, you're highly likely gonna flip bullish and re-break the highs, right? And be in some drawdown. And it would have been a 4-pip drawdown. But we weren't even using the previous kind of stop, so we would have got stopped out. So that was a perfect management right there. And then obviously the thing played out later on like 12-11, but we're not triggering at that time anymore, right? So that was yesterday. I wanted to break that down on IG, but I was kind of busy yesterday, because we did explain that the most logical stop there was respected, but like it all comes down to that specific trade. Like each trade is different. Sometimes when you use the current count stops, you might have to manage it a bit more aggressively, versus when you don't use the current count stops, you can let it run for a bit more, because as long as it respects the highs, obviously it's valid, right? No. You caught the 5 pips today, so no more trades for me. Yo, fun fact. We had a pretty good day too. I mean, my days technically should be done. I think we I'm still gonna be trading today. I'm still gonna look for positions, but we had a pretty good day yesterday. We had Asian was pretty good. We had sell stops on Asian. This thing got 30 pips or 34 pips. We closed like 75%, and then we let the rest run. Hit break even after, and then we had GSL stops, right? GSL stops over here, and then technically I closed half at 15. I was supposed to close another percentage at like I think 50 pips. It was 4 pips, but I didn't because I won this trade last night. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I let it run 50-50. So that's why I didn't close. But I'm sure people probably manage it a bit different to me, because it definitely ran for like 4 pips, 4 or 5 pips. That was all last night. That was it's funny because I woke up. I went to bed last night at 8:30, right? After the show was taken, I went to bed, and then I woke up at like 2:97, and I was like, oh fuck, let me check the charts. And what a coincidence, we closed in about 3 minutes. Like, oh perfect, GSL stops, boom. We got activated by 3:03, and then by 3:04 or by 3:12 we're stops to break even and risk free and all that good stuff. But no drawdown, I don't think so. But that was yesterday. That was yesterday. Why is it so dark today, man? Rainy. Trades taken. I gotta erase that. You're right. Hold on. Trades taken. Yeah. Trades taken. Boom boom. All right. How come you don't tell me to erase the focus, but tell me to erase trades taken, huh? To erase everything else but the trades taken. You go back 297. Yeah, we'll go back 297. But I went to bed at like 8:30 basically. When John's point resistance, do you base it off of candles or just including wicks? I base it off of candles. Cause like everyone can draw point resistance, right? But there's ways to do it. My way of doing it is I draw at levels where I know that price hasn't closed above before. For instance, right here, right? What's the medium resistance here? Like the average support resistance, like right here, rejection here, and looking left there, we have never closed above before, right? And that's where that line is there. But if we were to close above, that would indicate that there's a high chance that price will probably close above and drive up, right? If it closes above, it indicates that we're actually breaking above resistance. And breaking above resistance indicates that we're breaking out of the range, and therefore price should drive up. I have a video on it. If you guys do extra point SNR in the chat or something, I think a link should pop up where controller FX, support and resistance, whatever. A link should pop up. Yeah, this video right here. Don't watch this video, or you can watch it, but it's a bit outdated. This one's from like 2 months ago, so watch this one. It's pretty easy video, pretty chill video. $297, yeah. Oh wait, no, not 297. Holy shit. Hey, I gotta go back to bed, bro. 257. He's so sleepy? No, I'm not sleepy. Trust me, I'm not sleepy. I'm not. What? Here's the thing about trading for me. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, and like this is just me. I'm speaking from my perspective, right? It doesn't matter like what I go through, like what I'm dealing with. I believe looking at charts will always be the same for me because we built, you know, a decent playbook to a point where that's all we do. Like that's literally all we look for. Like you can do this like with half an arm. We can do this with, you know, half an eye. Like you can do this if you're feeling like down bad one day, probably, right? But you're still gonna come with the same results, I'm pretty sure, because nothing we do is emotional. And the moment we set that plan, like we made it specifically to like we made it to a point where like it's all based off of technical analysis, nothing emotional. Like it doesn't matter what you're going through that day, you're always gonna take the same position, the same entries, right? Doesn't matter if you're half asleep, doesn't matter if you're an hour, you know. Like for me, it doesn't really matter because no matter what it is, I'm always gonna look for these exact same setups every day. That's just how I view it. But that's just me. I don't know. It might be different for some people. Might say, "Oh, well, if you're not feeling good, you know, take a step away from the charts." Like, that's only because if you're emotional, man. If you're emotional, a different story. You shouldn't be trading at all, right? You should just be, you know, adapting to your strategy a bit more, working on your sample size a bit more, on your playbook a bit more. Yeah, exactly. Memorize the playbook and that's it, right? It's like we know for a fact right now, if you're emotional, it's a different story. If you're emotional right now, like let's say you're like, you know, you're on like an hour of sleep and you're going through a lot of shit right now, right? You would probably feel impulsive. You'd be like, oh, price is pushing up, impulse. I'm gonna take an entry here. But that's not how we enter. Like even if we were impulsive, like that's not how we enter. We'll wait for a closure. Like we know for a fact that we'll wait for a closure in about, you know, 20 minutes here for a 30-minute closure, right? The 30-minute count closes above, creates a bottom wick, and then we'll be in. Like you guys know the procedure, right? You guys know the procedure of that. But like from here until like for the next 20 minutes, we know for a fact that no matter what happens, we can push up 1,000 pips for all we know. We're not taking an entry until we actually close above the range. And that's how you that's what I do with emotions. I was laughing at Grant X's joke. 493. Come on. How long did I say 9.7 for? Don't tell me I said it from like the morning. I think I said it. This morning I said 5.7, right? 57. Oh, brother. I'm trying to change the time metric. Yeah, I've been sample sizing the time metric. I think it's due for a change, to be honest. I think it works best with my sleep schedule. You confirmed it 3 times. Damn, bruh. Rip. For the rest of your friends, my family, they'll probably pop up. Marco's not coming today. He's kind of busy, but I'm pretty sure the rest will. Dun, dun, dun. Go fund Marcos. He in duty. What's your favorite food? Definitely not KFC, but I like I don't know, I love Viet food, man. I love Vietnamese food. What I miss? Nothing, don't worry. You missed me saying I slept at 9:37 or 2:97. Oh yeah, sushi. I had sushi yesterday. Fun fact. The government took his live account. I got you, RS. I got you. Matter of fact, I might as well do it now, right? I might as well do it now. So, oh wow, look at this. See, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter like how you feel, man. With our strategy, it's like you know what to do, you know what to look for, you know what to wait for, you know the confirmation is needed for you to take a position, right? But if you didn't have that, you'd just be entering impulsively anywhere. You just entering here like, oh, impulse, just because looking left there's clean traffic, right? That's not always necessarily the case. You can still reject, right? You gotta be conservative, man. And plus there's no bottom wick there too. Yeah, so trades taken from last night. Asian session, I think it was pretty straightforward. The 737 one, it was both GJs. 737 was, I think, around, what time is that? This is 6, right? 7. Yeah, it was right here. So yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. It was pretty much sell stops. Where is it? 158.269. So 158.269. I think it was a rebreak of the current count lows. Yeah, it was a rebreak of, it was right here specifically because that low right there was a 1 hour breakout low. So I wanted to take advantage of that 1 hour breakout lows too. But it was a 30-minute fake out on top of that, plus the 1 hour breakout lows. And I think the 4 hour flipped too at the same given time. So that was perfect. We came down, tapped the next support level. We closed, I think, 50% at that support with the fact that you had no bottom wick here. So we secured 35 pips, and then that was that trade. And then the next trade was during the London session at 3 a.m. So 3 a.m. was around here. This is a 3 a.m. candle. You had this right here. Some of you guys might be confused, but you had a support here, right? But I wasn't looking at that support because I noticed that price was off of the 1 hour time frame, closing back into the range already. So the 1 hour was already forming a fake out, right? You had a range 1 breakout. This is a range 1, and then price came back into the range. So technically price should come down to fill the rest of the range, right? So then we took a sell based off the fact that the 1 hour closed back into the range, and at the same given time, though, as the 1 hour is closing back to the range, I think the 1 hour also Yeah, I think it closed below its resistance too. I had a resistance marked up over here on price yesterday. Basically here, right? Because I noticed that that was the most logical form of resistance. You had this rejection here. Price never closed above, so rejected, just struggled to push up. It just rejected, dropped back down, right? And then you had this over here. This candle closed back into the range, and once that candle closed back into the range, it drove down to the bottom of the range. And then this candle right here didn't close above, rejected. This candle right here closed above the range, obviously pushed up. Right, so same thing happening here. This candle closed below, and this is the candle to sell off of. This bullish candle, this bearish candle that was once this bullish candle that was once bearish, right? But yeah, we took it, and then this thing just retraced all the way back up, but we secured profits on our way down. And that was the land session trade. So that was the 2 trades we took. When do you sleep if you trade every session? You know,
I guess we'll never know.
I don't trade every session, chat. You know, sometimes I trade New York, sometimes I trade Asian, or sometimes I trade all 3 sessions, but I don't know. I live on entrepreneur time, man.